Welcome back to the Make Some Noise podcast, season 2, episode 8. Today we'll be going over the Workers' Comp Amendment, of course, silly hour, stay tuned. And at the end of our show, we're going to be going over Love Island. All right, welcome to our first segment for today's podcast. I'm here in the studio with Joseph Belia.
Hello.
Today we're going to be going over the Workers' Comp Amendment.
Yes. I guess I'll just sort of I wrote an article, went out on Monday as of recording this, so maybe it'll be like a week after the podcast goes out. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird saga. The government announced these changes in March, and then after that they did one of these, I can't remember what it's called, but they put out this bill as sort of like I think it was like an attention-seeking bill. It's like, oh, we're doing this change. Check it out. Obviously, there was a part of the changes. There were like quite a few things that were a bit controversial, but they're like the whole point of the changes was sort of saying that psychological injuries for workers, they're going on the rise. Which is resulting in people applying for workers' compensation. And workers' compensation is like, if you're injured at work, you can get money. Every employer has to have an insurance company that if you want to make a claim for injury at work, you go through that process. The government's basically saying there's too many people getting psychological injuries, and they want to do something about that. And it looks like their answer to that is just sort of to cut off funding after a certain point. Part of what they're saying is that the current process is not returning people that are injured to health in terms of psychological harm, and that people that are physically injured are actually returning to health a lot faster. And they're saying like, well, that clearly this is a problem. And then their current solution is that unless you meet a certain threshold, which is 31%, I can go into a bit more detail on that in a bit, that your benefits will just get cut off. You won't be able to receive any further compensation after, I think it was 2.5 years. So, that threshold has sort of drawn a lot of attention from unions and workers because... Yeah, it's like, to put it in context, there was a lot of parliamentary debate because, you know, what else do you do in your free time except watch parliamentary debates online?
That's my favorite pastime.
I can't remember the exact minister that said it. Might have been the opposition's treasurer.
Okay.
There was like, but I've seen it come up a couple of times, is that the amount of people that would actually meet this threshold to be able to have their benefits continued after 2.5 years is like almost like a very, very small amount. I think it was like 20 something. And I work in a firm that does workers' compensation. I don't work in the workers' compensation team specifically, but I heard this and I asked one of the solicitors who does work in that team, it's like, does that sound about right? Like, have you ever encountered someone with a threshold that high? And she said she'd never encountered anyone that threshold that high, and that she, like, that the statistic that the opposition minister was quoting, that did sound right. Like, it did not sound like a very realistic threshold for most workers to be reaching.
Right. So my takeaway from that was essentially that the government's essentially increasing that threshold.
Yes, that's right.
To basically phase out any sort of payments they have to do for psychological because it's costing too much.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of a bullshit rhetoric to be plain. That's kind of a bullshit rhetoric to go, oh, it takes a little too long it takes longer to recover from psychological damage than physical, so obviously we should just stop funding for physical. It's like, oh, stop funding for mental. Yeah, I mean, no shit, it takes longer for psychological.
Yeah.
I mean, you break an arm, it's healed back in like, what, 6 weeks?
Exactly.
You break your brain, it takes a fucking long time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and to put the threshold into a bit more context, essentially it's called the whole person impairment threshold.
Right.
And it is
I think I've heard something about this.
Yeah, it's essentially, like, at least in my understanding, it's a statistic that sort of tries to pinpoint exactly, like, how much your entire body is injured, like in terms of relative to the specific injury. So I think the example I wrote in the article was loss of eyesight. I think I found online was referred to as around 32%. So if losing loss of eyesight in
Right.
one eye specifically. So going
okay,
blind
okay.
in one eye is only 32%, and then you're comparing that to a psychological injury, which is a lot, I guess, harder to exactly work out the sort of threshold because mental.
I mean, putting just any sort of percentage on this sort of stuff is already kind of iffy,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Because what are the metrics they actually use to measure what percentage an injury is affecting your entire body? I mean, because
Exactly.
right.
I'm not
I
sure.
mean, it would have to depend
involves,
on like.
yeah, it involves medical experts. I believe the process involves independent medical experts.
Right.
So then, if you claim an injury and then the insurer or the employer wants to sort of contest that, well, you're maybe not injured to the extent that you're saying, they get forced to go to a independent medical examiner, and
Right.
then this examiner then has to make a decision, and it sort of like drags out the process a bit as well. And then I guess in terms of psychiatric injuries, I'm not exactly sure like whether specific medical examiners like specialize in certain things, but yeah, the fact that like you have to go to potentially this random doctor that you might not even be comfortable with and discuss your mental health. I mean, that is the process that it is. I think it makes sense in terms of procedural fairness, in terms of the insurer, employer, as well as the employee. But I can see like potential problems from that process as well.
This does feel like a backslide in all the work that's been put into helping not just workers, but just everyone in society in Australia with their mental health. I mean, post-COVID, obviously, we had a massive increase in just visibility of mental health issues and psychological issues. And I mean, the biggest takeaway from the after effects of the pandemic were that it's very hard to narrow down, how exactly, the psychological affects you.
Yeah.
Because
It affects everyone
it
differently.
affects everyone differently.
Especially different
Yeah.
professions. I think it was debated in SRC, this motion. I mean, I think what is controversial about this that it sounds like even like the opposition, which is typically very anti-union, is on the side of the unions. I think it was quoted that like, oh, we're swapping friends for this bill. And even at the SRC meeting, the sort of Labour-aligned students seem to also support the bill. They just wanted to amend it slightly. So I can't remember the exact wording of the bill, but there was like attempt to amend it.
That is very interesting.
Yeah. So I think because obviously the Labour Party is very like pro-union. So
I mean, in the name.
yeah. So when you're proposing bills that unions are clearly opposed to, it's going to be very difficult to come to an agreement.
And to garner support.
Yeah.
It does make you wonder what the actual prerogative of the bill is, because the optics don't look so good.
Yeah. I mean, there was an aspect which I will give the government credit to, where they wanted to increase funding for for programs that actually assisted people in improving. So it could be that their logic is, so we will cut the funding at a certain point, but with introducing these new programs, we're going to try and heal them up before they reach that point. But I guess I don't know why they think the solution is to do it in a two-step process. If they start by increasing the funding for programs that improve mental health and actually restore people to health, and then they can say, okay, it now looks like that people aren't reaching this threshold anymore. We can we can change it up. That I think would make more sense. But it seems like they're trying to do it all in one go.
Yeah.
But yeah, this bill it's gone through. Went through a couple of changes. So when they announced it, there was the whole attention. It's look at this amazing bill we're doing, and then everyone was complaining about that. So then when they actually got to Parliament, there were changes made to that. They also made a few more amendments to get it through the Legislative Assembly. So now it's at the Legislative Council, and it's been referred to a parliamentary inquiry there. But yeah, and I mean, I put the link in my article if anyone has any opinions or thoughts they want to send to the government. Submissions aren't open yet when I last checked. but yeah, hopefully should open
Yeah,
soon. I
keep
think
an eye out on that.
Yeah.
I believe we can try and get maybe that post boosted again,
Yeah.
maybe to the story.
They have a hearing on today on the day we're recording as well, I believe.
Okay.
I'm missing it live.
Which is something that everyone likes to do.
Yes,
it's a very
yes.
common pastime.
Who would ever watch a parliamentary inquiry
It's
live?
more interesting than watching footy. I love to see old men go at it. Please don't take those words out of context. But yes. Yeah. I mean, general thoughts. I'd like to get some more of your thoughts on this as well. Again, sort of. I'd just like to reiterate what I said. This just feels like it's sort of trying to push mental well-being back under the rug. Because now that sort of a lot of the social taboo has lessened, and people are actually coming out and going, actually, I have suffered psychological damages from working in this industry. Instead of, like 50, 60 years ago when they would just be told, suck it up, it's your work,
Yeah. I think in terms of, I think what is also key, I guess it's a student podcast, so I think it's also important to consider why is this important to students.
Absolutely.
And I guess doing tertiary education, I mean, I'm doing law myself, so I'm likely ended on a path where I'm going to be working in an office. I don't want to speak for all tertiary education students, but all university students, but a lot of us are going to be ending up in office jobs where the primary work health and safety hazard will be psychological harms. Like it's going to be stress,
shitty bosses,
PTSD,
crappy HR.
Yeah, vicarious trauma. Like at the moment, I'm interning at the Department of Communities and Justice, working in the inquest team. So obviously, I mean, I'm only there because I have like a higher tolerance to that stuff. But obviously, a long-term exposure to that sort of thing can result in trauma, in like vicarious trauma, that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
So I think students going into the field want to be aware of this process, or if they do need to claim any sort of compensation, and I guess if you're opposed to it, you should give the government your thoughts, that sort of thing. If you think, if you think these changes are warranted, I mean, you can let the government know. In a democratic society, people are entitled to their opinions. And I guess the other part, the other aspects of this is that, I mean, not only are tertiary students going into the job market, but then people already work part-time and casual jobs, often like retail, hospitality, that can expose people to these sorts of psychological harms. I've worked in I sort of worked in hospitality, retail-ish sort of job because the kitchen was right there, so often I get like sent back into the kitchen. But yeah, that was a very high stress job. Depending on depending on what type of job you're doing, these things still do apply to students. Students are still out there working. And I guess as well, UNSW is an employer. They have over 7,000 staff. So if UNSW staff mental health is compromised and it becomes sort of widespread, then that could impact the way like administrative systems work. It could impact the teaching quality. Like if your lecturer is not feeling mentally well, then if they take time off work, then that's a lecturer absent. They have to find a replacement. It can completely
100%.
Compromise the quality of the education we're getting.
Yeah, your educators are not behemoths. They're not machines. They are also people, and if they're also affected by psychological damages, it's going to affect you in turn as well. So if nothing else, if you're not affected by these changes directly as a employed person, as a worker, then you'll still feel the effects of this. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, I think in terms of workers' compensation, definitely try, like, the inquiry is open. I encourage anyone, if you have any thoughts, to give your view. You don't have to be part of an organization. You can literally just give your thoughts as an independent person. You don't have, like, obviously some organizations are going to be providing massive reports as part of their submissions, but as an individual person, you can give your thoughts. You can also go to your local MP. at any point in time, I highly encourage you to give your thoughts. And I think it
100%.
Yeah.
100%. You don't have to be a lobbying group to hold power and voice.
Yeah. And I guess to sort of tie that into another thing that's happened on campus recently, the ARC AGM.
Yes.
So what that did, sort of summarize, is that it changed the amount of people required to petition a general meeting, and these sort of general meetings were sort of used as a way to sort of get ARC to consider certain changes that people wanted. But now, because of the changes that passed at the general meeting, it's much harder. You now
The barrier's gone up.
It's gone from 50 people to 500 people,
Which is a massive increase.
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
But yeah, I think that just sort of ties into keeping in mind, like, it's not the government, but like you always need to consider, how can I sort of raise my concerns at the moment. So now the ARC has changed that rule, so maybe a general meeting is not the easiest way to raise concerns anymore. But going through your SRC, I think my point here is that if you have concerns with anything, make sure you're actually taking them to relevant people and being advocates in that sense. You could think it's a minor concern, but it could be that many other people have raised the same concern, and that it's sort of indicative of a major thing happening.
Absolutely. Right. Well, thank you for joining me on this segment. That's very informative.
Thank you,
Joseph. All right, and we will be moving on to our next segment very soon. Welcome back to your favorite segment of the Make Some Noise podcast, Silly Hour.
Yay!
Hi, guys.
All right. As always, I'm joined in the studio by Diya. Say hi.
Hi.
And back from Gatorland is Mia.
Hey guys.
This is the first time we've all been back together in so long.
I know.
I was in Melbourne and then you were in Gatorland.
Yeah. Queensland, for anyone wondering.
Yeah, I love that the name's catching on. And a very special guest, Big Bill is back.
Hello.
Back from popular demand of everyone saying, get Big Bill back on the pod.
We
The
love you, Big
largest
Bill.
William.
The largest William.
We love to see him. All right. I'll start us off and introduce our topic. Today we're talking about famous people that we have met or have a degree of separation from. Something like that. Yeah?
So this topic is because Mia knows a lot of famous people, and then we've kind of had to phone it in. I kind of know this person, I guess, if you like.
Well,
remove
I
enough
said to
things.
Dia, hey, do you think this would be a good podcast episode? And she was like, yeah, sure, I'll just have to think of some things. And I was like, oh, surely you can come up with some stuff. Apparently not.
Nobody goes around meeting a bunch of famous people.
Okay, but it's not like I know a bunch of, like, really famous people. It's like I happen to have a degree of separation from someone who's, like, an F-list celebrity.
I don't know, some of them are A-list now. You don't know how that next movie's turning out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So speaking of which, should I talk about the movie?
Yeah.
Okay. I went to primary school with a kid who is about to be Haymitch in the next Hunger Games movie.
Okay. What?
Yeah. We, like, sat next to each other in, like, year 6.
Oh my god, you're practically
He's also
famous.
a year younger than me. Yeah.
Also, the famous detail is that you had a crush on him.
Oh my god, yeah, I forgot about that bit. Famously, yeah. Famously, I liked him before it was cool.
Hell yeah.
My favourite fun fact about this guy is that he actually changed his last name. I won't, like, say to the general public what that is because I feel like that's a little bit invasive. Yeah. But he did change his last name for something that, like, had a little bit of, like, an innuendo to it, like his last name. Not even innuendo. It was just, like, a semi-rude word in his last name. And so he changed his last name. He also goes by, like, a different nickname nowadays.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's my little fun fact.
All right, love it. All right, let's go around in a circle. Diya.
So for me, I will get into the story of how I know this person from 2 degrees of separation. Unfortunately, somebody here is in the studio who keeps track of how many times I mention my ex-boyfriend. So I just need to say, for the sake of the story, this is the only way I know a famous person through 1 degree of separation. But the story is that my ex-boyfriend's parents would walk their dog on the same route all the time, and then one time their dog started playing with another dog on the route, as you do, and they would see this dog all the time, and, like, you know, that was their dog's friend. And then one day the dog's parents invited them back home, and they found out that those are the parents of Rebel Wilson.
What?
And this was like after Pitch Perfect 1, but before Pitch Perfect 2, and so that's why they were like not used to having like a celebrity daughter, so that's why they were like, oh yeah, you know, she's in America, she works in America, blah blah blah, and they were not like, you know, bragging about being like, my kid's in a movie or whatever. But yeah, because of that, my ex-boyfriend's family is family friends with Rebel Wilson.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Crazy.
That's actually a very good one.
And then here's where it gets even better, which is then I did the math and realized I have a closer connect to Rebel Wilson by 1 degree of separation, because that's 2. Because it goes the parents and then her parents and then Rebel Wilson.
Yeah.
Is Rebel Wilson is actually an alumni from UNSW Law School.
Yeah.
And
Shout out.
yeah, was
Shout
filming
out.
Pitch Perfect, like the first Pitch Perfect in her final year of law school, got her law degree, and then went on to become national icon Rebel Wilson. Pre-Ozempic as well.
Pre-Ozempic,
You know,
very
she
true.
got that law degree pre-Ozempic.
She do.
Hell yeah.
My one is at my mum's old work. She was talking to this woman, her boss at the time, and she was like, "Oh, like, tell me about your family, blah blah blah." And the woman said, "Oh, like, my dad's like sort of like a politician, but like I don't really like to talk about it." You know, like sensing some embarrassment there or something. And my mum said, "Oh, like what politician? Bob Cutter. It's Bob Cutter, guys." Hell yeah. And so I can do the impression perfectly, which is why it's like I could do it very well before, which is his impression of "Let a Thousand Blossoms Bloom."
Okay,
When
I
he
need
was
to
asked,
hear it.
Go.
When he was asked about gay marriage, you know, people are entitled to the sexual proclivities. I mean, let a thousand blossoms bloom as far as I'm concerned, but I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in far north Queensland.
Thank you, Big Love.
Amazing.
You're very
joke.
welcome. You're very welcome.
Okay, Afna.
Yeah, it's very funny you mentioned Bob Catter because I was thinking of a different Bob and I couldn't remember his last name for the life of me. So I was like, Bob Catter, no, that's not right. Bob Hawke is an alumni of one of the high schools I attended during my time as a high school student. I guess that's like what? 1 degree of separation? Yeah.
Oh.
The degree is usually
the
like
second
person
cousin,
to person.
Yeah.
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 But,
So-
you know.
Close enough.
That
But
was
you
Bob
probably
Hawke,
knew
but-
someone who
Yeah.
taught him or something, or
Yeah,
knew
yeah,
someone
yeah.
who knew someone who taught
Yeah,
him.
it
So
was
it's
great
a
because
couple of-
after he died, we had like a whole school assembly and a whole bunch of people came and gave eulogies, people who
Oh,
knew him
damn.
personally,
Damn.
which was really nice. I was like, oh fuck yeah, one of the coolest prime ministers of Australia of all time. The guy who, I think briefly or maybe he held a Guinness World
Yes.
Record for drinking beer.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
that's my guy.
Yeah.
One of the stories they
I love
told
that
us.
that's how you look up to him.
Yeah. Nothing
No,
else.
because, okay, I mean, obviously, I'm not old enough to been alive when he was, you know, in Parliament and making decisions. Or maybe I was. I don't fucking know. I came here in 2013. I'm an immigrant, guys.
No.
But one of the stories they shared about him that I found really endearing was, I think it was back during one of the wars. I don't fucking know. I forget. It's been a while. But during one of the wars that was going on, I don't want to say it's World War II because I don't think he's that old, but he spent some time on the school's campus digging trenches in
damn.
case of, you know, attacks,
damn.
which
Well,
was really cool.
He was boss of the unions at one point, and Frank Sinatra came to Australia and insulted a female journalist, and then when he tried to leave the country, Bob Hawke said, "You're not leaving this country till you apologise. Like, none of the workers are gonna do shit."
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I
What
love
about
that you
you?
brought up Frank Sinatra. I'll get into that in my next story.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have to talk about the Jojo Siwa law
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
Jojo, what?
So-
I really do.
I went to high school with Jojo Siwa's ex-girlfriend Kath Ebb's sister.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Wild.
Wait, is this the one that JoJo cheated on?
Yes.
Was this the one that she cheated on with a different girl or with the
With
older
No,
girl?
with the guy.
Yeah.
During Pride
shout out
Month.
Pride Month.
I know.
Shout out to all the
Shout out to so many lesbians who are suddenly not lesbian. during Pride
shout out
Month.
to all the young lesbians who have been groomed by a much older man into now.
This
I
has
guess.
happened like 8 times this Pride Month. Anyway, this
Yeah.
is so not the point of the story. Point of the story is I am, what is that? 2 degrees of separation away from Jojo Siwa.
Yep.
1
crazy.
degree of separation away from Kath Ebbs.
Hell
Crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Her sister was very lovely. We didn't know each other that well, but like we knew of each other. We were in the same house, and so like we definitely knew who each other were. But she was really lovely. And I feel very bad for Kath Ebbs.
Real.
Can you remind me, Billy, how many degrees of separation does that make me away from Rasputin?
No, that is the
Oh,
other celebrity.
that's
yes.
a different guy.
Yes.
My bad,
yes.
my bad.
Ooh.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just have one more, which is like, I guess this is like a more of a fun, whimsical story that has nothing to do with me. Just like know that I exist in the periphery of this.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Which is my high school, the story of how it was founded. Which, if you've listened to the pod enough, you know which high school I went to. Yeah, blah 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 blah. But the point is,
Shout out to the school shitter.
yeah, that was a great.
Oh my
story.
god, I actually have a backlog to that exact same podcast episode as well. Go on.
But what I was gonna say is, so my school used to be the Melbourne High School, and it used to be co-ed. But if you know about Melbourne High School nowadays, you know it's not co-ed. And the reason is because it used to be co-ed, and then the Great War happened, and then they were like, the men are useful because they can go to war, and we're wasting our government's fees by schooling the women because they're useless and they can't be soldiers. So basically, an angel investor came in and built the men like a beautiful new campus. They trashed the existing campus to like the point of rubble. And when the girls showed up on Monday to go to school, they're like, what the fuck is going on? And they also took most of the teachers with it. There was only a handful of teachers left. And like, 200 girls or whatever who were expecting to go to school on Monday, and now they just come to like rubble, and now they don't have a school. And that's why they started the tradition of teaching classes in the rose garden, which is like outside, just like having classes, having your books open outside in the gardens. And yes, we ran philosophy class in the rose garden. Yes, I get bullied for it that I went to school where we did philosophy in the rose garden. But where I'm going with this is, so now like the school's rubble and it's like really depressing and blah blah blah, and so somebody swoops in and is like, I believe in women's education, I'll fund your school. And so that's why my school is called the McRobertson Girls High School, after Sir McRobertson. You might be wondering, who is Sir McRobertson? And he is the inventor of the cherry ripe, the Freddo Frog, the Caramello Koala, etc. As in, he is the Australian franchiser of Cadbury. And so all of your Australian Cadbury classics come from that man. But also, recently I saw an ad for, I can't remember, one of the new Cadbury bars. And they were like, it all started when Sir McRobertson, and I was like, I know that guy! I went to the school. So I'm glad my man's is getting his flowers, not just for making some of the best chocolate ever, but also...
I will say the cherry ripe fucking sucks, and I will fight anyone.
That's crazy.
No, you're so wrong!
It's so bad.
It's so good.
It's the
I'm,
second
like,
worst
very
Cadbury chocolate next
medium
to
on
Turkish
cherry
Delights.
Oh, you're so wrong.
Cherry wraps to me
are
are
great.
very like in the middle of the road, but I will eat them.
I think we need to have a future podcast episode about chocolate and how so many people have really bad taste in
Yeah,
chocolate.
Marcus staring at us from across the podcast studio. Worst taste in chocolate I've ever heard
Yeah,
of.
it was so bad, but like we can't even go one podcast episode without insulting Marcus.
Yeah. Even when he's not in the cuck chair, he's basically always in the cuck chair.
Yep, so true.
I mean, he's kind of in the cuck chair today. He's off
Billy-
in
He's
the
in the
corner.
cuckest chair. He doesn't even get a mic. He just sits and watches.
Guys, this silly hour was about to be 80 minutes long.
I just checked. You were right. It is 9 degrees away from 9 degrees of separation away from Rasputin, because Siwa met Kanye. Kanye met Trump. Trump met the Queen. The Queen's related to the Russian royals, and on and on.
That's what I thought. I swore it was Jojo Siwa.
I think it's closer if it's the other guy. I think you could
Yeah.
It's-
you cut
yeah,
out
okay.
a few of the middlemen.
Maybe we should say who the other guy is while I'm here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have shook Al Gore's hand. I met Al Gore. So my mum used to work for an environmental agency. She still does, but it's a different one now. She used to work for ACF, and ACF did this whole talk with Al Gore because Al Gore was like a friend of theirs or whatever. And I was sitting up the back with my dad, and my mum was speaking at the front. and then Al Gore was speaking, and Al Gore came, like, saw me at the very back of the room, the only child in the room. I was probably like 4 or 5, and came and shook my hand specifically.
Oh, that's
Hell yeah.
cute.
And I have a photo of it too.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
This is a complete aside, but that makes a lot of sense to me because in my head, Al Gore was Mr. Big Climate because in year 7 we had to watch his climate change documentary.
Yeah, I mean, sort of.
And then I
I
did
saw
not
that one as
know
well.
about his political history until like year 8 or 9, where I'm like, oh my god, the climate change guy ran for president.
Well, that was a big thing of his, and so that's why, like, my mum's company, like, knew him.
Yeah. But yeah, because that cuts out a few of the middlemen because...
You don't need to get to Kanye.
Yeah, you don't need... so Gore knew Bush. I think all the presidents would have met the Queen. But Gore, obviously, opponent of Bush. Bush Jr. met the Queen. Queen's related to the Russian royals.
So I'm, like, very, very close to Rasputin on the whole.
Every queen knows a Bush.
Afnan, do
truly.
you have any more stories?
Yeah. In high school, I was this was during year 12 music camp, which was awesome. We went up to, I think, Katoomba. It was really fucking cold. It was great. I have a lot of fun stories from those 3 nights. But I was sitting down with a couple of the music instructors and just chatting to them, and I found out a lot of them are or have worked with some really big names. My guitar tutor at the time, Mr. Aaron Flower, shout out if you guys
Big ups.
have big ups. He's on Spotify if you guys want to go check out his shit too.
I'll see.
Great guy, great teacher. He's performed as accompaniment with a lot of big name artists like Taylor Swift.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
So
Slay.
that's 1 degree of separation from Taylor Swift, right?
It
Yes.
is.
Yes.
So
correct.
1 degree of separation from Taylor Swift. And then I went to hop on the Frank Sinatra thing again. This isn't Sinatra, but Sinatra is a jazz legend, and that reminded me that one of the jazz instructors toured and performed and recorded with Chet Baker.
Okay.
Slay.
Okay, Mia, you are the only person who has like a laundry list more, so just speed run them.
It's not quite a laundry list. I've got like 3 or 4 more.
That's a laundry list.
Okay, the general context you need to know is that I went to like a very well-funded inner-city public school for primary school, and so there were a lot of famous people's kids who went there. When I say famous, I mean like very low-down celebrities. Tanya Plibersek's son and daughter both went to primary school with me. I've like met Tanya Plibersek multiple times because of that.
Nice.
She's very Hillary Clinton power suit coded.
I will say, I do not count anyone I met back in the day when I was a labor hack because that's not a real version of me. That's a fake person. That's a psyop.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
just like whatever.
I mean, look, I wasn't a labor hack when I met Tanya
Yeah.
Plibersek. I was 5. Like,
like you can add a few people there that I'm ashamed to have met.
Well, I think the thing with political affiliations through like that is that when you hear someone at your uni class go, oh, I met Chris Minns, you go, wow, that's really impressive. That's such a wild thing that you, a lowly citizen, has met the Premier of New South Wales, and you realise they're a Labor hack, and of course he's meeting members of Labor.
I will say, I'm not going to name who the MP is, but I did beef very much for like a good solid year with a certain MP's daughter.
yep, we all know this story.
Yep.
I don't.
We'll
can
tell
tell you
you off
later.
off the air.
All right, okay.
So additional people I went to primary school with. David Walsh's daughter. If you don't know who David Walsh is, he owns Mona.
Oh wow.
He's the one that did all that gambling and then set up Mona about it. Yeah.
Love it.
Weird guy. He also like has had like 3 wives and 3 children with separate wives. But I went to school with one of them.
Shout out family values.
She was quite nice and lived in a really, really like she was very rich. Yeah, she was. We don't still talk, but like she talks to some other people I went to primary school with. She's
Oh,
nice.
That's cool.
Additionally, I went to high school with Emma Alberici's daughter. If you know who that is, like very famous ABC journalist.
Okay. Nice.
This particular girl happens to be the girl from the same episode as the McRob shitter.
Oh my
which
God.
is the mother took a restraining order out on her incident. Yeah. If you've listened to that podcast episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. Same girl.
That's fun.
The last person I have on the list is that I have met Costa from Gardening Australia multiple times. He knows my mum quite well.
Oh my god, you have not even listed my favorite F-list celebrity that you know through no degrees of separation.
Wait, really? Who is it?
The Real Housewife.
Oh my god, I forgot about
You know a Real Housewife?
I do know a Real Housewife.
Oh my god.
I totally forgot about her. I have a friend who was good friends with the son of a Real Housewife, and so I met her because her son came to my school formal with that friend as a friend. She is psycho. This is Athena X, by the way, from the Real Housewives of Sydney. She is so fucking crazy. That's a quote of hers, by the way. While we were like standing there at like prees at a friend's house, she like looked me in the eyes and started having this whole conversation with me about how she was like a very socially anxious child, except she was staring me in the face the whole time, and I was probably the most socially anxious person there, and I was like, girl, read the room. Do not be staring me in the face like that, ho.
It was exposure therapy.
Oh, it was awful. But then, because also I was wearing a suit that day, and she was like, wow, I love your androgynous look. It was weird as fuck. Anyway, she's crazy. Love her. She's crazy. I'm so glad you reminded me about that.
That was my favorite. That's what I mean by man just knows so
I
many
know
people.
so many random people.
And I'm like, I guess if I like stretch the story out, I could somehow find a way I'm connected to it.
Yeah.
Okay, is that it?
Does anyone have any more little...
Oh,
I feel like this has been a very tame, silly hour.
Yeah, oh my god.
I did see a former Premier of New South Wales at my work. I'm sure I've met...
Oh, wait, yeah, Bill, good old Jackie Lambie.
Oh, yeah, Jackie
Yes,
Lambie.
I saw Jackie Lambie at work as well. And we have a thing at work where if you're a current political leader or blah, 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 involved in politics, you get special stuff. You get wine and chocolate. And so I recognised her. I was like the only one who picked up on it. So, shout out.
How do people not know fucking Jackie Lambie?
I know!
It's Jackie Lambie.
It's Jackie Lambie. She's like if Jackie Lambie goes away, what are all those like morning breakfast shows going to do? Like it's
They're all
Jova.
gonna collapse. Oh,
It's
man.
so Jova.
Yeah. I have another one. So back in year 7 and 8, I did choir. I was pretty decent.
Nice.
I can't sing for shit now. Do not ask. I do love karaoke still, though, but that's besides the point. So my choir teacher was the teacher that was also, I guess, mostly responsible for teaching Catherine Langford, who I'm pretty sure I'm getting that name right. She's the girl from 13 Reasons Why who kills herself.
Oh,
Yeah. She was also in Knives Out. I think she was she was like the maid, the immigrant maid who got the estate in Knives
That's
Out.
Anna Dance.
That's that's a different one.
But she was in that movie. I forget who, but she was a character. She was
she
either
was
part of the family.
I'm pretty sure. She's in the
she was
family.
either the family or the illegal immigrant.
I think that she's just known as the girl in 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah. Which was great. Between all the weirdo year 7s and 8s that I used to be around, because I was also in the year 7 and 8 group, who were all going on and on about Nazism and Soviet memes and femboys and what have you, we would also throw in the occasional 13 Reasons Why quote. It was great. Teachers hated us.
Shout out.
For obvious reasons. But shout out Catherine Langford. We love her work and love Simon.
Okay, so I'm gonna say today, for the first time in a long time, I've pre-written my bar.
Let's go!
I am not making this up on the spot.
Alright, someone drop
However,
a beat.
if it is bad, I did make it up on the spot. Okay, ahem. No, okay, ready, ahem. Once I knew the shorty that played Hey Mitch. All these white boys, they be looking the same-ish. Call her Rebel the way, she have great pitch. We need funding, so please pay bitch.
Woo! That's good.
Thank you.
That's good.
Damn.
Thank you. I was like,
love that
hey
it's like,
Mitch, white boys look the same-ish. Which is true.
Yeah.
Shout out white boys.
I love
Shout out
that
Big Bill.
it's,
Shout out Big Bill.
I love
Shout
that
out
it's I love that
Marcus.
it's like a Lin-Manuel Miranda coded like summary.
Yes, exactly. I thought that, I need to stop just making jokes about getting railed in the podcast studio. if anybody from UNSW State Management is listening, I have never, ever, ever gotten railed in the podcast studio. But where I'm going with this is...
I'm looking at this and I'm like,
there's no space that's actually comfortable for it. I mean, you could, but it's like...
Hey, let's stop this.
Take us
Goodbye,
out,
friends.
Welcome to our third and final segment. We are doing a post-match analysis on Love Island. Pitch your pals. With me in the studio, Diya.
Hi, I'm the world's greatest pitcher.
And Big Bill.
It's Big Bill.
Woo! And of course, Marcus.
I'm also here.
Marcus is also here.
He did watch it as a spectator, which is why
All
it's
four of
important.
us were there at the event. Diya and Billy were up on the stage.
Oh.
I know, it was so exciting.
Should we
Big
start?
Bill got pitched.
I think I'm just gonna start. Oh, I am working on my full article. It will be up on Friday because I get articles in on time.
It will be.
Hell
That
yeah.
means it will be up before this podcast goes out.
Oh, exciting. But yeah, just to quickly go over the format of the night. Instead of, if you've heard about our Love Island analysis in the past, instead of it being like, oh, one person's dating a bunch of people, instead it was just 11 single people who all took turns having their friend pitch them to be like, why you should date my friend. Look at my friend. Don't you want to date them? And at the beginning of the night, you would get a QR code of everyone's name, and you could scan it to like put it in an application to date any of the people who had pitched.
Whoa.
Yes,
I was going to
exactly.
say, I think that they should have advertised it better as a singles night, because
Yeah.
there was a lot of like people just going to watch, because in the last Love Islands you were not going as a single, you were going to watch it as if it was a bad theater show.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think
And
that...
it was absolutely a bad theater show.
Oh, it was a great theater show this time. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the last one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was...
That was bad. But
the improv
this
to the
time
theater
I
kids.
had a great time. I'll let Dia finish your summary.
Well, no, I was going to say, I think that they didn't advertise it well enough as a singles night. So, like, when we got there and we all got the QR codes, we were like, what am I meant to do with this? What am I meant to do with this? And then I was like, that's got it. So I think that in the future, that's something for them to consider, because ARC loves taking my suggestions on board. And now I'm in a position of power. I can be like, hey, girlie, you know how we talk about our important business projects? Let's talk about what I want to talk about. Love Island.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Something near and dear to your heart.
It is
Amazing.
unironically my favorite ARC event of the year every year.
And it happens 3 times a year.
Exactly.
Hell
That's why I get to
yeah.
be happy 3 times a year. But yeah, Avnan. You have
Yeah.
any questions?
I mean, I was there, so not really many questions for you per se. I do want to.
Wait, can we? Sorry, let's just make clear
Yeah.
very quickly. What happened was Dia pitched Billy to the audience.
Big Billy! Big Bill!
Hi, everyone.
And I want to throw it to Billy, in fact. Big Bill, how was it?
It was good. It was good. I liked being on stage with a big audience.
Yeah, I noticed you were doing a sort of like American presidential
Yes.
kiss.
Yes.
What was going on?
I made an offhand remark to Marcus at some point during the night that Big Bill's entire mannerism and outfit on stage made him seem like a conservative twink that's trying to grip conservatives
Yeah.
while being very bad at hiding
I
it.
think it's important to know a few things. Number 1, Billy wore a suit.
It was a
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Number 2, when I sat down back with everyone, the first thing Marcus said was, Billy did great. And I was like, I was there giving that speech. I prepared that. And then the third and most important thing was at the end, everyone gets asked a question get to know them. And, some of them are like, what's your biggest ick? What's a deal breaker? Blah, 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 blah. And Billy got asked, what is the worst thing somebody has assumed of you?
And it is very hard to, I don't think people go up to me and, be like, I just had a first assumption about you that was horrible, and I assumed you're an awful person. And so I'm just sitting there blank faced being like, I don't know, man, what's the worst thing someone's assumed about you? Get me going here. And then one of our friends calls out, gay. They assume you're gay.
What is the worst assumption someone has ever made about you?
You're gay.
Compliment. What a...
It's not the worst. The worst things people have said about me is all you're asking.
That you're gay, Billy. That you're gay.
I'm really fucking annoyed. That's what apparent.
I think a lot of people assume that I'm gay, either because of the cat-weaning people, or I have had someone say, "Oh, I just assumed that you were so empathetic. I just assumed that a straight man would be like that."
Yes, Billy.
And that's the worst assumption.
I think.
Yes, it is. Woo! Shout out Eleanor.
And
And
she
so I
was,
just
she was
go-
sitting next to me, yeah.
And so I just go, gay, and I'm like, oh, they asked what the worst thing they ever assumed about me. No,
I was doing so well. There was someone else managed to sink themselves a lot worse with the final question.
Oh,
to be
yeah,
fair.
we can talk about that.
Okay, because I don't feel like anybody did, so I want to hear your thoughts on it.
The person
Yeah.
we're talking about, they said, "What's your biggest ick?" And then he said, "If she's Vietnamese."
Oh, I remember. But he actually had a pretty decent explanation for it.
No.
It was funny. I'm not saying it was good, but it was funny.
But the pitch, the person who pitched him, she did so well. This
This
was
is
the
what
first
it's
pitch
like,
of the night.
okay?
She killed it, and then he absolutely fumbled
A
it.
great pitch. You watch it and you're like, wow, I wonder why people aren't dating them. Let's ask them a question. You're like, ah.
it was fantastic. His reasoning, by the way, is that his last name is extremely common and he doesn't want to date another Vietnamese person in the off chance that it's incest, which, I mean...
it's
listen, big bro.
it's not likely. Statistically, it's just not
Statistically,
likely.
not only is it not likely, but if you're thinking that far
To
into
be
the past,
fair.
That sounds
It's
like a
all
post hoc.
incest,
That
right?
sounds like a post hoc reasoning for.
To be fair,
Exactly.
Billy is the kind of person who goes, I won't text her back because what if I meet the love of my life tomorrow?
I text people back.
We roasted Billy enough, I think, for his dating choices in the last episode.
Okay, I think I want to just go on to a few more sillies about what happened at Love Island, and then we'll go into what happened post-match for Bill.
Oh, yes.
The first one I want to talk about Marcus.
Hello, dear.
Well, not you, Marcus.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
okay.
other
Can
Marcus.
I tell this?
Okay.
Can I
Yes.
tell this?
Yes.
Okay, so... Hi, my name's Marcus. I'm one of the coordinators of Noise, and I was there at Love Island, and there was a Marcus being pitched. There was a Marcus. There was a second Marcus.
And I was like, which one of my friends has it out to get me? And I turn around and I see...
hit the tower.
I turn around and I see Eleanor and Marcus together, and I'm like, how could you do this?
But annoyingly, he was cooler than me. He was was he a post-grad student? Or,
Yeah,
Post-grad,
PhD,
dude, he was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
At that
And-
moment, I felt my sexuality get forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna... Okay, he had this really fucking cool mustache. It was curly as shit.
It was a stupid mustache.
No, it was
stupid
good.
Mustache.
It was hipster, but in a good way. I disagree
it
with
was
you.
just hipster.
I will
And
fight
his-
you on this.
Come at me. Let's go.
His
The toxic masculinity
the
is
person
rising.
pitching him was Nathan as well.
Yeah, that was the...
You ruined the story,
Oh,
Bill!
Yeah, okay, so... Anyway, so the big twist at the end, so we were like, okay, who's pitching Marcus? Because, we didn't know, they didn't introduce themselves, and then at the very end, they revealed their name was Nathan. My best friend and flatmate is called Nathan!
I think you're also underselling how best friend Nathan is.
Besties since first grade.
Let's go.
You can cut me ruining the story out if you. I think that would be a clean cut. No one would notice.
Nah,
That's
you have
right.
to live with what you've done.
Right.
Yeah.
Destroyed it.
Much like the pitch, Bill.
Yeah.
As soon as you
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
But no, other Marcus was very cool. He plays fucking 5 different instruments.
Yes.
Again, cool fucking mustache. I will fight you on this, Marcus.
There was also a guy who, he's getting pitched, and it's all I see are red flags. I think she should have just summarized the presentation by being like, run, girl.
Wait, which one
Who
was
is
this?
this?
The guy with the painted nails and the rings. Who really liked artsy music because he's not like the
Oh,
other
the
boy.
guy who had Deftones and
Yeah,
other...
yeah.
I mean, she called it out as well.
And
She's
then
this is male
and
manipulated
then she was
music.
here's his green flags, he'd drop everything to his friends, blah, blah, blah. And his red flags are for you to find out. And I was like, go, you showed us the red flags. You showed them to us. And then they end by asking the targeted question, have you ever, cheated on somebody? And he's like, no. And I turn around to Elna and I'm like, he's a liar.
I mean, to be fair, you do also assume that about like 80% of people.
You assume that everyone over 6 foot is a cheater.
I mean, okay, that
So,
one's fair.
Look,
Look.
I've said that I'm open to corrective experiences. Whether my mother is
Yes.
Oh, that's also going to come out of the Love Island story. My mom was talking after Love Island. My dad listens to the podcast. I don't think my mom does. Hi, Dad. My mom was talking to me after the podcast. She goes, "Oh my God, Diya, you looked so beautiful. I hope they had a QR code if people wanted to date you instead of Billy." And then I was like, "No, Mom, that's not how it works." And, Marcus. And then my mom was like, "I just think you should keep your options open."
Yeah, so I'm meeting the parents in a few weeks. So wish me luck. Wish me luck.
It's all right.
You'll go great, Marcus.
You've won a lot
You'll
of
win
people
them over.
I think you'll win them over.
You'll win them over.
Thank you.
Look,
Thank
you
you.
just gotta remember certain things. I don't know if this is how Dia's household does it, but there's a couple standard rules. First off, shoes off inside the house.
Roger.
Make sure to lead with all your strong things, like the fact that you're doing law. Very good. You start with that.
Sure.
You'll get called son in like about a week.
Yeah. Do I tell them about how I don't want to go into law as my profession?
No.
Do not fucking say that. They will.
I'm kidding. They already know all of this.
I mean, her dad listens to the podcast.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hi, Dad.
Anyway. Back to
Shout out
Love
Dia's dad.
Island. Back to Love Island.
So I think now after we go into our post-match analysis of what were the outcome of all those QR codes.
Yes, well, the first reply was from glorious, esteemed, honourable ARC board director
Yeah, I think
Luke Sheridan.
I think that it's really important to say how he responded to.
Yes. No, I'm getting there. In full caps, to every single question, including what are your contact details, what's your name, it was just please, 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 please. And then the next one, there was 2 responses. The next one was like, this is their name, okay, yep, scroll. You have to scroll along, it's like Excel. Scroll along. Hi, I'm blank. 19 years old. Nope. Bye-bye.
And Billy, you are.
23. So no.
Yep.
No.
That's an understandable thing
Okay.
to do.
We didn't. I don't think we had my age.
No, we did have
there.
your age, and I know
we did
because
have my age?
I was very intentional about it because
good.
the first Love Island that we watched had a very inappropriate age gap, and it made us really, really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it's always like I need people to know what they're getting into because some people didn't include ages, and I was like, if I were a single in the audience, as somebody who is a bit washed up in uni years, I'm reaching the tail end of being allowed to. I mean, there's Zane, but like as somebody who is older for a uni student, I'm not there like a 19, 20-year-old where it's like, it's like every person here is probably mayhaps age appropriate for me. It's like, I need to really think about this one. I need to be like, are they within my age bracket? Will this work out?
Yeah.
How old would they have had to be for you to accept it, Billy? Like, would you have accepted a 20? Would you have responded to a 20-year-old?
Big Bill, Big William, you are being grilled on the pod. What is the youngest age you would date?
I think 3 is a stretch.
3?
I think no. I think 2
3
is
years
the.
old? 2
years old is
Bill.
insane.
Bill, why would you do that to a 3-year-old man on his own?
No. I did. No. 3-year age gap is a bit much. I think 2 or 1 is the
So
sweet spot.
but a 21 to 25 is the range that you would date.
Yes.
Very well.
Sure. Yeah.
So there
That
is
seems about
nothing
right.
age appropriate about a 22-year-old dating a 20-year-old. Right, Bill? Am I right, Bill?
Yeah. Whoa.
So, my question is, if she were 20 instead of 23, instead of 19, would you date her?
I think it's a stretch for someone. I don't think because it's like not someone I know, not someone that's been like a friend's been like, yo, they seem cool. Like, no, I don't think so. No.
Mm-hmm.
So to conclude, if you are single and you would like to date Billy, please be between the ages of 21 and 25, and you
Please
can...
do date him. He's
Yeah.
actually really cool.
Well, that's why I pitched it, because I was like, somebody please.
2 responses is not enough. Those are rookie numbers. We gotta pad it
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Have you
We gotta
considered
pump those
did
up.
you consider responding to Luke Sheridan? He's a cool guy.
He's also, he has a future ahead of him as an
Yeah,
board
yeah,
director.
yeah.
Yeah. You gotta.
Good career.
Yeah.
You know,
Nice
marriage at
luscious
15.
hair.
That,
You know,
that's true.
yeah,
That's true.
You know.
And, you know, it'd be like a status marriage. you know?
Yeah. And I mean,
100%.
listen, lavender marriages are all the rage. You know, like there doesn't have.
This is the reverse of a lavender marriage. You're gay for the status.
Listen, it's.
What would it be then?
I feel like marriage gets a
would
bad
that
rap
be?
because people only do it for romantic reasons. You should get married to people just for fun.
Well, as Pepsi famously said, if you're not getting land or livestock, why are you getting married?
Real? No, they have a point.
They do.
But yeah, I think
I'm worth about 5 camels. If you're not coming with a dowry of at least 5 camels, please do not.
Well,
hit
no,
me
we
up.
were talking about this the other day, which is the more goats or camels you're worth, the worse you are, because then that means, like, please take my daughter off of my hands. I will give you 5 camels. So that's why it's better to be worth 1 camel.
Like it's a sign of desperation,
Yes.
being like, please,
Yeah,
I got 12
Yeah, yeah.
cows, bro. I'll give you 12 cows,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
But if you're only worth 1 donkey, then that means you're like low maintenance or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's like
No,
she
no,
can
I'm
cook,
saying
she
that
can
if
clean.
somebody wants to marry me, they need to give me 5 donkeys.
Well,
or
it's
5
like-
camels, not that
Yeah.
I'm going to be giving them 5, right?
And it's
Like
also
I'm the
true
prize
that
here to be won.
it's also true that
You need
it
to win me
broadens
over
your
Okay, yeah.
it broadens your horizons if it's just 1, because then most people can get a camel sorted or a donkey sorted. I mean,
Billy,
But that,
okay,
that
Billy,
means that means you're marrying for the aesthetic and not for the status and livestock.
Billy, if you had to get a camel, how would you go about getting it?
well, I would go to the Northern Territory and ask, hey guys, I really enjoyed that camel ride in U10. You don't happen to have a spare. You don't happen to have a spare, do you?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right,
sorry.
back to the actual
To
post-match
conclude,
analysis.
Yeah.
I think everyone should just give a 1-sentence summary of their experience at UNSW Love Island, starting with Afnan.
Had a good time. Snapped some QR codes. Yeah.
Ooh, did you hit anyone
Whoa,
up?
wait,
Oh.
I mean, isn't that much of a surprise? I already told Marcus.
You
on
told
the
me
thing.
you were your
Yeah.
exact words were, your boy might actually hit this one up, is what you said to me. And you said it before the person pitching them had started talking.
Hell yeah.
My context for that was that I knew the person who was doing the pitching. So I was like, okay, I actually know this person. They're cool.
Afnan,
and
go get your wife. What are you doing?
Yeah, so it's like you trust them. You like they
Yeah,
are lending
yeah.
their name to this person, and you trust their endorsement.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I
exactly.
do not want people to associate my name with whatever Billy does. Endorsement.
You're gonna retract
So you-
your endorsement of me?
I've
You're
never
not
endorsed.
You're not endorsing Billy's endorsing of. He might have just been. What was the exact
Sponsoring his visa, as a friend.
We've all been there. Anyway, so Afnan, so you snapped on multiple QR codes? Oh.
Oh my god!
Oh.
Exciting. Have you gotten any responses back?
Hell no.
Aw.
I mean, I did snap one like literally yesterday. So,
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Okay.
but yeah,
Interesting.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
No, good luck, man. Good luck.
Well,
The
we
apps aren't
thought
working.
The
We
apps are not
thought-
fucking working. I need to run away to the forest and eat moss for a living.
I hadn't got any, but it took a few days for them to come in. They were like, "Oh, here's your replies," and then you see the date of the actual replies, and they're from the day of Love Island. So.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Might be worth you like emailing ARC, being like, "Hey, I submitted
This
mine
is
quite late. Make sure they
time
get it.
sensitive.
Make sure they get it." Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can get that to the appropriate people.
Ooh, yes, that's right. We have friends in high places.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Marcus.
Yes. Oh, yes. My 1-sentence summary. Yes. I will fight Marcus the hipster because there can be only one, and I will fight Afnan the podcast host because Marcus the hipster's mustache is stupid.
No, it's beautiful.
I actually walked. I was actually like around campus, and I saw that Marcus yesterday. So
Shout out.
Shout
The
out.
Shout out.
the mustache, the Marcus mustache didn't look too stupid. It may not be.
Oh my
It
god,
may be too
this
hipster
is
for
such
some.
an aside to everything, but the twink I liked in high school got an ugly mustache and I had a little celebratory.
Let's go, Twink Death! It comes for us all,
Anyways, Big
especially
Bill.
Zane. Big Bill, you were sounding a little bit like a centrist there. I'm going to need you to pick a side.
Yeah,
There's
one
only
sentence summary.
extremism.
My one sentence summary of this Love Island was strong pitch from Diya. Strong,
Strong candidate.
strong candidate, strong presentation. You've got to outdress, because even if people go, "Oh, he's dressed in a suit. Why is he taking this so
No,
seriously?"
there was a guy in like straight up sweatshirt.
Yeah,
sweatpants,
yeah.
So, yeah.
It is sometimes very easy as a guy to just blow away the competition. I'm like, should I wear a tie? No, I don't even need to bother with that, because there are people wearing sweatpants.
Exactly.
Easy solve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All you need to do is just take a shower once in a while and you're beating like half the competition.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, my one sentence summary is, please let me host the next one. I am begging you. I would be such a good host for UNSW Love Island, and me and Mia would be totally good co-hosts for UNSW Love Island. We know this craft better than anyone else. We have gone to every single one of these. We've been studying. We've been taking notes. Just let us host. And we would ask them better questions than they did.
Yeah. I think some of the questions were...
I also just want to say, it's really clear that one of the hosts auditioned by doing his like TV presenter voice to be able to be the host. He was like, guys, I should be allowed to host Love Island. I have a really good TV presenter voice. Look, okay? And he's like, oh my God, is that the next candidate, William Charlesburg Moran, in the studio today? And I was like, not what it takes to be a great host. It's knowing the craft, knowing the game.
And
studying.
also not reading all of your lines off your phone.
Yes, true.
Anyways, I think that summarizes an amazing season of UNSW Love Island. My advice to ARC is, number one, pitch it more as a singles night. That way you actually get people who like are there to date, because...
Looking for love.
Well, no, because we had like a party of like 5 or 6 people show up, and of those, we did not have enough single people there to really enjoy the experience.
Yeah, it should either be like a proper game show or just be a singles night. It shouldn't be something in the middle.
You should have spectators, but the spectators going there should know that they're there to witness a singles night.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then secondly, my biggest piece of advice to them is, let me host, please. I'd be so good.
I will endorse Dia's bid to become host.
I endorse this bid as well.
Well, no,
Strongly.
I pitch myself as a host while I was pitching Billy as a candidate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Bill, before I take us out, do you plan on, what's the word? Repeating your candidacy?
Oh,
running a second term.
Running for a second term.
Again. 4 more years.
4 more.
We'll be
Remove
back.
term limits.
This
for
isn't the
William
last
Charlesburg
one.
Moran.
This isn't the last one, guys. I will be back.
I think we should host Noise Love Island. I've been
Real.
Real. You know what I've always wanted to do
Because
was
then-
I've always wanted to do like one of those old-timey newspaper editorial columns.
Looking for love.
Yeah.
We
Like-
found some of them in old The Runkers, and they were so problematic,
Yes,
and we
they
loved them.
were. We should-
like
we
the guy
should,
who sits
we
in
should
and gets
go
like
through them, yeah.
letters sent in and then responds to them. I've always wanted to do that.
All right, I think
Anyways,
we are
thank
coming
you
up
for
on time.
Thank you for listening to a Love Island post-match analysis. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Make Some Noise podcast. If you'd like to help support the podcast or potentially join it, please go look up our links on our website and our Instagram page. If you want to check out more of our works, articles are up every week on our Instagram and on our page. If you'd like to join the team, go do that. If you want to help fund us, please do. We're a non-profit. We need the money. Once again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back in 4 weeks' time. Don't miss us too much.